Yo, what's up guys, it's Nat here, and in today's video I'm going to be starting a set of videos, or like a new series, where I make your guys' thumbnails look a lot more eye-appealing. Before we do get into this video, please do like and subscribe as we are on the road to 300 subscribers. Your support really means a lot, and thank you so much for what you've been doing so far. So, each thumbnail which is mentioned in this video, the creators of these thumbnails their Twitters will be linked below in the description, so please do check them out. Anyway, that's enough for me for now. Let's get straight into it. Unfortunately, when I was recording this, my microphone kind of cut out, so I'll just show you guys step by step what I did in each of these two thumbnails mentioned in the video. So the first thumbnail we have is by a thumbnail designer called Elynx. His @ will be on the screen right now and also will be in the description of this video. So the first thing I did to this piece was a bit of color balance. So I adjusted the midtones, the shadows, and the highlights just to give it a bit more saturation and depth to the piece. The next thing I did is I tried to make this text pop out right here by adding a brush, popping it on color dodge. As you can see, it now glows a lot more. Then the next thing I did was I changed the color of the skin's eyes. So how I originally went about this was I picked loads of different colors and just tried them out by going into hue and saturation and just changing the hue, and I found green was probably the best fitting for this piece. So yeah, and then next thing I did was add a bit of glow to kind of the background, make it pop out a lot more and kind of give like the realistic kind of lighting around all the pieces of the scene. The next thing I did was I did the same thing to the trees, popped it on color dodge, and then the next thing I did was a bit of color dodge to this skin here to make it look a lot more eye appealing and making it a main focus along with the text. After that I added a bit of linear dodge, which is maybe a bit much looking back at it. If I just turn down the fill a small bit, there you go, just to make that light a bit more like realistic rather than like the fill color which it looked like. Then I went and changed the Sicko logo to make that pop out and glow. And then towards the end of it I added a white brush on overlay to add like the point of view from where the sun was reflecting off everything. And then I went back over the text because when I zoomed out it didn't really look as if it was popping out much, so I added a bit more glow to it just to make sure it popped out, and then a bit of glow to the clapperboard here, and to finish it off I did like a vignette on overlay. So yeah, that's what I did for this piece. If looking back at it now, I'd probably add a Fortnite background here, so I'm going to do that right now. Just to add a bit more reflectivity to this piece, because the film camera looks a bit it just looks like it lacks textures and doesn't really reflect much, which you could probably do by changing the roughness in Blender. So on this piece here, just want to maybe just zoom out, because this is just make sure that it doesn't contrast too much with the reflection. I'd press Ctrl U to go into hue and saturation, turn down the saturation, pop it on overlay like so, and I would probably look for another texture to work with this, just like so there. As you can see, that doesn't really look like it would really be working, so what I'm going to do is find maybe glass PNG or something, and I'm probably going to go for metal actually, just metallic texture. As so, this one looks nice here because it's got quite a few rays like that, which will make it look probably a lot more realistic than it is right now. If you can hear my dog in the background, I do apologise. I had to turn down turn off my noise suppression because my mic just didn't want to work. We'll just keep cutting in and out. Yeah, so like that. Maybe this is a bit strong. Maybe blur actually. So just Gaussian blur. Mess it around with it. There you go. That's got like a reflection of trees now. And before and after on that, you can see that it just adds a bit more depth. Probably to add a bit of like glint from the sun. So maybe a linear dodge brush here, or color dodge, depends on what. Yeah, just linear dodge and then turn down the fill a bit. There you go, as so. There you go. So that's before and after on this piece. All in all, this was a really nice piece. It was very well. The composition was very well made in Blender and in Photoshop. It just needed a few more touches to make it this little bit more eye appealing. And now on to our next thumbnail artist, which is Yucy. His art will be on the screen like Elynx's was, and also in the description. I really do love this piece which Yucy made. There's just a few things which I would have changed up to what's called minimize the inconsistencies with multiple clashing color themes. So the first thing I did was added a bit of blue here instead of the green, because the green, although it's here, doesn't really fit with the whole color theme which is trying to be established. And after I did that, I kind of thought that the whole car in general should probably be blue, to keep this kind of blue and then the pink, so a clash between blue and pink color themes, but it doesn't clash, it more blends a lot more as they're not too contrasting from each other. Looking back at it now, that barely did much, so maybe moving color instead of color onto linear dodge and then just covering the whole of the car just below here. There you go, as so. Maybe just turn down the opacity where the black bars are, so it's just has a bit of depth there, so, like so. So anyway, yeah, I made the car blue, but it looked quite lacking in texture and color. It wasn't very vibrant, so I added a overlay layer with the same blue brush. Next thing I did was I went onto the web, onto Google and searched up for some metal textures such as the one which I used in the last thumbnail. Yeah, and this just added a lot more like depth and like what's called reflection from like the rays, which was a really nice addition in the end. So as you can see, before the rays and after the rays, it looks a lot nicer. Maybe, I mean, I would have probably, this is me here just barely doing this, but yeah, I would have just removed that. And then after that, I wanted to make it pop a bit more, so I added a bit of glow to the edges, so that there's a bit more like reflection off onto the skin. So maybe here, I'll just up the opacity again, and then I'm on a eraser, like so. It's kind of reflecting off. Yep. And then the next thing I did was the fact that this looked quite rough on the background. As you can see, there's like a really big clash between green, blue, and pink. So I more or less got rid of the green by adding a color dodge on pink, as you can see here. Yeah. And then the final thing which I did, as I do to all my pieces, maybe a bit of pink here, but it might, yeah, it's gonna work as blue, I think. So just add a new layer, pop it onto color dodge, as so, turn down the fill. And then the final thing, as always, is a bit of color balance. So I messed around with the mid-tones to kind of bring out the blues on one side and the pinks on another. I could always have just split it down the side, but since these don't contrast too much, the color themes worked very nicely together. And then obviously Didn't do too much to the shadows, as you can see. Without it, there wasn't much because the shadows were quite well done in Blender itself, and probably in a bit of Photoshop. And then the highlights, I did quite a bit to get like this. So I brought out the pink in this cyan to red slider, and then the magenta, brought out a bit of both colours, and to finish it off I brought out the blue with the yellow to blue slider. All around, this piece by Yucy was really well done. It's just the colour themes I thought clashed a bit too much, and you added a bit too much to the colour themes, so I just simplified it down to 2 colour themes and made it just look a bit more simple to the eye and eye appealing. Anyway, that was a great job from both designers, and as I said at the start of the video, I am trying to get to 300 subscribers by the end of next month. So everyone who likes and subscribes is greatly appreciated, and I should be tweeting out more tweets for these sort of videos, so just keep your eyes out on my Twitter, which is going to be on the screen right now. Anyway, that's enough from me. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Peace.